Welcome, gods and goddesses, to the Gifted Goddess channel. Back here with another message. As you know, I come on to share my gifts with you guys, and I encourage you to sort out the noise and find your gifts to share as well. If this channel found you, it's because you are in the process of ascension. You're ready to stop simply living in autopilot and take control of your life. So you have possibly taken steps toward deeper meaning and purpose to your life or life in general. So I hope this message finds you in a place of peace and comfort. I hope there's something you can take from this message. As always, I pray that this message finds who it needs to find in the manner that it needs to find you in divine timing. So, with this message, I channeled the song Wedding Day by St. John. If you haven't heard that song by St. John, I suggest you listen to it. It's basically about a man getting married. He's I don't know, like coming to terms with his feelings about marriage. The first sentence is, "We can never get divorced if I marry you." So, just concerns about marriage and things like that. Very nice song. Love the artist. Look it up if you haven't. Also, I channeled Put It On Me by Ja Rule. So if you haven't heard that song, basically about relations again between man and woman, right? So I won't get too deep into that. I believe that song came out in the 2000s, so that could be significant for someone in a year in the 2000s, early 2000s. Paris was coming through, so whether your name is Paris or the place, I saw a little Eiffel Tower. So that could be significant for someone here, whether you're from Paris, planning to go to Paris, perhaps a wedding day in Paris is your dream, right? And I believe that guy, St. John, he did another video. He was definitely in like Paris or London, UK, something like that. So that could be significant. You could be in Europe, from Europe, planning to travel to Europe. All those things could be significant. Again, with these messages, you want to take what resonates. Now I'm seeing China. So you can be in China, planning to go to China. Wedding day in China could be significant, or Chinatown. I don't know why that just came through. But again, if you're listening to these messages, take what resonates. Oftentimes, one or two things will resonate just to clue you in that the message does or can pertain to you. Not every single thing will. So don't get too caught up in the things that don't. If you hear something that confirms or verifies that, this is something that resonates with you, just take it as it is. The number is 30, 32, 36, 33, 31, 7, 1, 232, 32, 100. And I started this message at 222, which is all about balancing, right? So any of those numbers could be significant. You could be in your 30s. 232 is really standing out for some reason. Maybe you're born on February 23rd. Because if we are looking at that as a date, 2, 3, yeah. Perhaps you're born February 23rd. Very significant. Your name could be Keisha. This could be regarding a relative of yours. Perhaps a relative of yours is getting married. Whatever resonates. The name Destiny is coming through. So again, you could be focused on destiny, right? Because that's what this channel is all about. Seeking your highest purpose. If you're in the process of ascension, the destination is destiny, right? So we want to get to all the things that we're destined for, aligned with our purpose, our passions, our missions here. So, yes, destiny could be significant. You could have a cousin or relative named Destiny that this might pertain to, or you're focused on destiny itself. Definitely, if you're finding this channel, you're on your ascension journey, destiny is the destination, to be clear. So, we are here to have it all, right? So, everything that is meant for you is in alignment with your destiny and soul purpose and plan. And we should be walking toward that. So the goal here is heaven on earth. Once we create that for self, we can encourage and teach other people how to live in that same manner, walk that same walk, if you will, in that path towards purpose and destiny. Something or someone is bad for you. And I'm also seeing bed. So it could be something about your bed. Perhaps you need to clean your bed, change your linens. Cleanliness is next to godliness. They say that for a reason. Helps you clear out your mental space. And definitely, if it's your bed, you'll get a better rest. If your bed's clean, clean linens, things of that nature. But something is a bad idea, or you have a person in your life that's probably not the best person for you, a bad person for you. And again, if you are in your process of ascension, you can't be tethered or tied to too many people who aren't walking in that purpose in alignment with their destiny, right? Because if they're not forward focus on their path of spirituality, just growing, definitely spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, then they're going to deter you or cause a roadblock in your path, right? So roadblocks could be significant. I don't know if someone's driving, encountering a roadblock, or you've experienced a roadblock recently and you're trying to figure out what's going on. It's probably tied to someone you're connected to, possibly family. Again, I'm getting relatives, cousins, mothers could be significant. Siblings, friends, long-term, lifelong friends could be keeping you back, and not necessarily. You don't want to look at this in a negative way. Just they might be in their south node, right? So if you're trying to go north and they're due south, it's not going to work. You're not in alignment, right? So don't look at it as a negative thing. Just look at it as this might be something stagnating your ascension, right? We want to remove all the roadblocks that stagnate our ascension. So definitely check the people that you surround yourself with, who you find yourself conversing with day to day. And the easiest way to tell if someone is in alignment for you is, do your conversations feel uplifting and fill you up rather than drain you? If you're feeling drained after speaking or dealing with a person, then that's probably not someone that's in alignment with you. That's probably someone that's stagnating your ascension. So be on the lookout for that. Always remember to look on the bright side. So find the silver lining in all that you do, on this path of ascension. Let's see, it was just 9:01, 9:02 on the clock. That could be significant. You could be a September baby, Virgos in the house. But on this path to ascension, there's a lot of bumps in the road. If you're on this path, it can be tricky, trying to navigate a path that you never taken before. So remember to look on the bright side. Trust that you're always being guided. Life is a journey that we're meant to live. We are meant to enjoy the journey, right? I just saw something that says, where there is life, there is hope. So have hope. Always look on the bright side of things. We are alive. That's another chance to get it right. And do not be discouraged when you don't get it right the first time. Bees could be significant. So look up the meaning of bees. Bees could mean something particular to you in person. Perhaps it reminds you of a certain person, place, or thing. Bees provide the honey of life, the sweetness in life. So, again, looking on the bright side of things, look for the sweetness on your journey. They also represent like abundance and royalty, I believe. So, that definitely can be significant on your path. Look for the sweetness in life. Where's the honey moments, right? Names that begin with B could be significant, perhaps. Maybe you call someone B, or you're called B. BB could be significant, whether you wear that brand or you did wear that brand, you're currently wearing that brand, a nickname. Again, all those things could be significant. You could have a relative name beginning with B, perhaps having a wedding day in Paris. Take whatever resonates. I'm just giving you the message as it's given to me, and whatever stands out to me, I will convey that in the best way possible. The colors yellow and green could be significant. So yeah, whether that's your favorite color, if we're looking at this as far as chakras, yellow is the solar plexus, and green is the heart space. So, connecting with your heart could be significant, and getting in alignment, through the solar plexus, right? Connecting the two could be significant, working out of those spaces in general. When I sat down to do this message, I typically meditate before I do these messages. A leaf fell where I was meditating, right? We are in the fall season if you're in North America, so not surprising that leaves fell. But the leaf fell, it was a little like yellow goldish leaf, fell onto my blanket that I was sitting on when I meditated outside. It just reminded me of Coco. In those moments when he got the ancestors' approval, he was gifted those little golden leaves. I hear a train confirmation, big confirmation. Whoa. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear that in my background. That train is going off. So again, oh my, okay, so we have triple, quadruple confirmation. Perhaps that's the number of ancestors coming through for you to approve this message. Wherever you're on your journey, wherever you're at on your journey, excuse me, you have the ancestors' approval, their love, their support, and you are in alignment. So continue moving forward in your highest path for your highest purpose. Books or readings could be significant. Perhaps there's something you're meant to study or read, learn more about. Definitely on this journey, it will take you to places you've never been, right? This is a path that, most of us haven't trekked before. I don't know why Trek came to mind. Star Trek could be significant. Trek. So definitely a lot of times on the journey, you will be called to learn and study things that you probably never read up on, right? Or experienced, or, you could be guided to learn how to channel and do different readings. Everyone has different gifts, so you'll want to learn, what your gifts pertain to or entail. Some people might be guided to do tarot. You might be a reader or a channeler, a messenger, if you will. If you're uncomfortable with, those other terms, don't let it intimidate you. Definitely be mindful about it, but don't be intimidated. Be proud. If you are gifted the opportunity to deliver messages for the divine, see that as, a truly a blessing, right? Not too many would have that opportunity. it is what it is. Your gifts are what they are. And, sometimes it can require us to dig them out because we're not used to dealing with them, right? So kind of digging them out, the diamond in the rough is coming up. So you definitely probably are a diamond in the rough if you are on this ascension journey. And you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds. So yes, there will be pressure. Yes, there will be moments where you don't get it right away, but 15:30 on the clock. But take that slowly. It takes time to get a diamond, right? It's not an expedient process. So that reminds me of a Maya Angelou quote. So you could like Maya Angelou, or poetry could be significant for you. But yeah, she had a quote about, things in like, would you rather things be expedient or, I forget the quote, you have to look it up, but basically you don't want things to go fast, right? You don't need the quick result. You want the lasting result. So take your time on the journey. Someone or something is a jive turkey or a shady individual. I laugh because jive turkey isn't a term we hear in modern day, not where I live anyway. So perhaps that's an ancestor coming through for you, or that's something you say or someone close to you say. Another train confirmation. Just something about a shady individual. So a lot of times people can look shiny like a diamond, but they're actually in their south node and not really operating in their best light, right? And we don't want to be judgeful on this journey, right? Just because you found the right path, remember that you once too were on the wrong path, and not in alignment with where you wanted to go. So let's be mindful, be encouraging, show compassion and empathy, right? So we don't need to judge anyone who may be operating in their south node, not as their best self, kind of messy, petty, that kind of energy, or entertaining too much of the worldly things to immerse in it. Just know that, you were once there. And there's always an opportunity to get on that right path. Every day is a new day. So we need to look on the bright side. And the goal is to get as many people on the right side or the bright side as possible. So by you living in and living through and living out your purpose on your path towards ascension, you never know who you will affect, right? It's like a ripple effect. You can throw the tiniest pebble into a river, a stream, and the ripples can ripple so far to the next shore even, right? So you don't know who you affect. Also, the life under the ground, under the sea. I don't know why it's coming up. Under the sea could be significant. Under the sea, what is that on the Little Mermaid? I have no idea what that song's from. That's significant for somebody. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? So you being that example will perhaps encourage more people to get on their path. Butterflies could be significant, specifically orange butterflies. Perhaps you're seeing them. I know in my life I've been seeing orange butterflies too. Those signify transformation. And if you're seeing the butterfly, remember it's already past its transformation like phase. It's already went from the caterpillar to the cocoon stage, and it's the butterfly. So you are at butterfly stage, hopefully, right? You feel yourself blooming and blossoming. Um, so I was going to say letters. So maybe the letter O or P could be significant, but I was going to say the letter, oh my God, the color orange or pink. Something about letters. Perhaps you're about to get a letter or receive a message. That's another thing on this journey when I would hear people say, you're going to get a letter and you see different things pointing to like postage or things like that. You typically assume it is a piece of mail, a tangible letter, when it could be a message or a download coming from the divine. So I just wanted to point that out. I never heard that when I was starting my journey. So I just wanted to clarify that for somebody. I'm seeing the letter AAA, triple A could be significant. Also May 20th. You could be dealing with a Taurus. I don't know why that date is jumping out. Again, this could pertain to a mother. So perhaps you're about to receive a message from your mother, right? Or regarding your mother. Like I said, the colors orange, pink, and blue to be significant. I'm also seeing green. Get grounded for alignment. So things you can do is go out in nature, plant your bare feet into the grass, into the soil, into sand, just to get connected with earth. If you haven't started meditating on this journey, I suggest you do. That will get you some clearer messages. And kind of sort out the noise, right? And bring you clarity. If you haven't listened to any, you can listen to guided meditations on YouTube. If you don't know where to start, that's where I started to learn how to meditate properly. A good person to listen to, you can listen to Janae Aiko. You could be a fan. That might be significant for somebody. But she has mantras on there where you can meditate to. Chantris Seba is another one. I'll try to pin that name in the description or something. She's another person that does music for meditation and healing hurts and stuff that, just put in your toolkit for this journey, right? So I'll be giving you little things that help me throughout this journey and, encouraging you on your path. You might, look up one thing and find another thing. That's another thing. Follow where your intuition or where the path is guiding you. Again, it may be uncomfortable, but trust you're being led by the divine, right? Towards that higher purpose. The soul knows, right? They say the nose knows, but it's pulling you in that direction of your highest path. So trust it. Virgos could be significant. I mentioned that earlier. Blue, I mentioned. Blue is the throat chakra. So perhaps Virgos, you need to open your mouth, clear that throat chakra. Maybe there's something that you need to say regarding your life, regarding your family, regarding diamonds. I don't know why that came through. Maybe there's something you need to say. Panda came through, and I attribute that to an intention. So I won't get into specific. I'll explain that in another video on how the things we associate with have specific meaning to us. So when I say panda, that might mean something different for everybody. For me, it means like intentions or having passion projects like lined up for you to release or get ready. Maybe you need to work on some passion projects, kind of funnel that energy out. Perhaps you're being called to create. I also see pictures and portraits. Maybe that's something you do, whether it's photography or painting, whatever have you, right? So that could be significant for somebody. I have the initials B. Again, BB is coming up very strong, whether it's your nickname, something you're wearing. We know that's a brand name. Something about BB is significant. EC together. So I heard that specifically E or initials EC specifically this could pertain to, or that could be confirmation for you. A mother's initials. Somebody's mother's initials are EC. Oh, that was direct. Okay. JISVHS. And then perhaps Pepsi is significant. You could be a Pepsi drinker, a Pepsi fanatic. I know my grandmother was, so that could be significant. Grandmothers could be significant. Perhaps that's the ancestor giving you their kudos and approval. You could have or be a sports fan, a Steelers fan specifically, a football fan, perhaps. Black and yellow is significant. Those are the Steelers colors. And I hear a school bus outside. Typically, those are yellow with black writing. Maybe you're seeing a school bus. You have children coming home at this time. That could be significant that is significant for somebody. Birds, flying, planes, things that fly are significant. So I hope this resonated with you. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so as of yet, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can receive the downloaded messages that pertain to you and this ascension journey. Remember, some things will resonate, not all things will. I always say I'm just throwing things out there. Catch what you can. Take what you need, leave the rest for somebody else to chop up and chew on, right? So thank you. I hope this message finds you well. And until next time, please go in love and light and continue on your journey with hope to see that destination of destiny. Peace.